Okay, y'all. Thank you for joining me. There's another episode, Real Housewives of New Jersey, season I Don't Know, episode 2. Thank you guys so much for everybody who watched my first Real Housewives of New Jersey review. I really appreciate it. I got a decent response on that, so I appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. So here's the thing. This episode really wasn't a whole lot. It was just this episode solidifies why I haven't reviewed the show in the past, because I don't know if I can get on this camera every single week and say the same thing about Teresa, but we are going to work. This whole episode was pretty much Teresa pointing the finger, not taking accountability for shit, even though her own daughter told her that she needs to. So let's start. So we pick up where we left off before, which is, Margaret, Jack, Teresa leaving out of Margaret's house and cursing out Jackie because of what Jackie said or whatever the case may be. And Jackie, like I pretty much understood it to be when she said it, when she told Margaret, she said, I'm not saying that Gia did that. I'm using it as an analogy. I'm saying, what if I was to say that? You would be pissed off, would you not? And what did Margaret say? Margaret gonna say in the confessional, like, two things you don't do in this group: analogies, because no one ever gets them, and they'll talk about people kids. Now, I kind of get some of what people are saying about the whole kid thing, but the way I look at it is like, Teresa, if it was anybody else but Teresa, I would agree. But the thing is, Teresa has said some like really vile things about people. She just does whatever she wants with no type of consequence, and the minute she don't get her way, it's an issue. I have an issue with next week with you poking your nose again in your brother and his wife's marriage. She don't have boundaries. That's the problem. Nobody sets boundaries with Teresa at all. Okay. So anyway, so Margaret pretty much is like, okay, well, you did kind of take it too far saying that, but at the same time, like, why didn't she just admit that what she said was wrong? Because Teresa doesn't know how to do that. I watched every single season of the show. Teresa does not know how to apologize. She does not know how to take accountability. She never had to. That's why. So that's why she doesn't. Okay. So then we go over to Teresa, and Teresa calls Melissa. And of course, Melissa, I think she was like at the Jersey Shore or something like that with her daughter. And here's Teresa, of course, bullshitting and not really telling the right side. Oh, well, I went in there and I was being so nice to her, and I didn't even say anything. And then, and then she's gonna bring up this whole thing, saying that Gia snorted coke in the bathroom or whatever, and you're just mad at me like you're a weak woman at the end of the day. You didn't want to know that your husband was cheating on you. You're a weak woman. You're a weak woman. And so Melissa, of course, this is why Melissa is probably one of my favorite people on the show, using her common damn sense, said, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't think she would just say that just to say it, like some not adding up. And I said, thank you, Melissa. Thank you for understanding. I mean, she knows Teresa better than damn near anybody else on this cast because she family with her. So she knows Teresa don't tell the whole story. She never fucking do. So then we go over to Jennifer, and Jennifer is at her mom's house or whatever, and she explains that her mom and her dad was in an arranged marriage. So, it wasn't like your perfect love story or anything. And now her mom pretty much is like, well, you guys only hear what it is that he says. Like, you guys don't see the stuff that he does to me. You don't hear the things that he does to me. You guys weren't really around and don't really know a lot of the stuff that I put up with. And, she starts crying. And then from that point of view, I do kind of feel bad because, like, from the outside looking in, it probably does seem like her mom is just yelling and yelling and yelling. But at the same time, y'all probably really don't know half of the stuff that your father has either said or did to y'all mother because of her, probably protecting y'all. But I do agree with Jennifer. Y'all just don't need to stay in the same place like this. This is just not gonna work, okay? So then we go over to Dolores or whatever, and Dolores is talking to Frank, and she's talking to him about how she had a conversation with David about, I forgot about their relationship, and how she was like a little bit upset about the fact that they're not engaged or whatever. And when she brought it up, how he got up and he left out the room or whatever the case may be. And sorry, she wasn't talking to Frank. She talked to Frank later. She's talking to her mama about this. And so then she also says, well, David was also mad at me because, I went and I got like the I think it was Life or whatever the hell, she went and got the nip and tuck, and I didn't tell him or whatever. And so her mom was like, well, why didn't you tell him that? And she was like, well, I don't feel like I should have to tell anybody anything. And she was like, well, you probably should have told him because people want to actually be there for you, which is what I was saying last week. It's not that you got to quote unquote get permission, but if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're going through something like that, like David did end up saying later, anything could have happened to you and he wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have been prepared or anything like that. So I get that. So then we go over to Melissa, and Melissa calls Jackie on the phone to kind of understand what the context of the conversation was. And of course, Jackie explained it to what she was saying, you know. And Melissa was like, I mean, she probably shouldn't have said it, but at the same time, like, I understand where she's coming from. So I fuck with her. So then we go to Dolores talking to Frank, and she's talking to Frank about David and about their. I just feel like this whole Dolores, David, Frank situation, y'all might as well just be a throuple at this point, because it's all very unconventional, and it clearly works for y'all, but it's just weird. I don't care how many years I've been doing it. It's still weird to me that you're having a conversation with your ex-husband about your boyfriend. It's just weird to me. It's just weird. So Frank is like, oh, don't worry, like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna talk to David about it. And I'm like, how are you as her ex-husband gonna go and talk to her boyfriend about her and tell him what he ain't doing what he's supposed to do? You her ex-husband. Clearly you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do. So how you gonna tell me what I should be doing? So whatever. So then we get over to Margaret's house, and Margaret is waiting for all of the girls to come in. And of course, like I said, Margaret and Melissa are kind of the main ones who are saying, like, Teresa needs to apologize regardless of the situation. You know, she needs to apologize. And then I think Jennifer ends up coming in, and Melissa kind of does a bitch, don't say hi to me, because y'all know last season Jennifer was like saying that Melissa was lying about her trying to get pregnant. Oh, just some stupid shit. She was so annoying. I said I'm giving Jennifer a clean slate. When I'm telling you, she irked the shit out of me all last season, specifically the reunion. She was ridiculous last. It was. I couldn't even get. I literally couldn't watch the entire reunion because between Jennifer and Teresa, I was sent. I was sent. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. And so yeah, so like I said, so then all of the girls are coming or whatever. And again, Margaret made an amazing point, like I've been saying. Should she have said that? No, because Teresa gets there, and of course, I'm sorry, Margaret puts out there that Jackie's not coming on the trip. So Teresa's like, oh my gosh, good, I'm so happy, you know, because I was gonna be so mean, and I was gonna cut her with my tongue. Pretty much being a 12-year-old about the whole situation. Like, I was pretty much gonna bully her the whole trip. All right, girl, whatever. But Margaret, like Margaret said, very, 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 very valid point, like I was saying. Yeah, she shouldn't have said that. But here's the thing. She wouldn't have said anything about Gia if you would have never said anything about her marriage. That's the thing. Like, she would have never even had a reason to even go there. You're the one who started all of this shit, so you need to apologize. Period. Okay? So then they get on the bus, and Teresa is doing the whole thing again about, oh, well, I don't understand. Like, wouldn't you want to know? Like, who wouldn't want to know that their husband was cheating on them? Like, wouldn't you want to know? So then they showed the 2017 clip of, I can't remember the woman's name, but the woman who was putting the rumors out there about Joe cheating on Teresa, and Teresa gonna come up to her like, did you say that about my husband? Do you know? Do you know for that to be true? Do you know that for to be true? Okay, so it's okay for you to do it. Teresa is classic hypocrite. It's okay for you to do it, but it's not okay for everybody else. You know, we all know that Teresa is a classic hypocrite, okay? And so Melissa's on a bus, and Melissa's like, look, at the end of the day, if you didn't have any proof, and especially if you wasn't going to say who said it, you shouldn't have said any fucking thing. And, you know, and everybody else is pretty much agreeing, like, you really shouldn't have said shit. It's just that simple. You don't have the proof. You should have kept your mouth shut. Period. It's not that hard. It's not that hard of a concept to grasp, Teresa. I don't understand why you're acting like you are a 2-year-old who don't understand that you knocked over the milk. I mean, why you acting like you're a 40-year-old who knocked over a glass of milk and don't understand why the milk is now pouring all over the damn floor. You're a grown-ass woman. Nobody should have to explain this to you. So, like I said, so Teresa talk about, oh, well, I'm glad she's not here because I would have been on her ass because you're 12 years old. That's why, okay? Then we go over to Frank and David, and they go shoot some guns or whatever the case may be. And then we find out that Frank he fell down some stairs or whatever. And David ended up taking Frank in. Like, he let him stay with him because he had, I think, a bathroom on his first floor, and how he helped take care of him and helped him back to nice. I'm like, this entire throuple situation is too much for me. It's just a little bit too much for me. I can't wrap my mind around it, but what works for y'all works for y'all. So then Frank pretty much goes a little bit in on David and saying, you know, how, you know, Dolores talks to me and she told me this, that, and the third, like, you're not really committing. You should have been married her, whatever. And what did Frank was like, you talk about me like you got commitment issues. And I'm like, y'all see, do you see how this is getting a little kerfuffled? Because y'all both was fucking the same woman and dating the same woman, but whatever. And so then Frank pretty much says, like, you're a great guy, but you're a mediocre boyfriend at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I think, what did he say? I think Frank was like, well, maybe all three of us could just live together. And I really think that that's what y'all should do. Frank, you come give Dolores the D every now and again. David, you come and give Dolores the D every now and again. And y'all could just make this throuple, because I'm so tired of this. It makes no sense to me. So then they get to the house, and the house is really nice. And again, they're talking about the whole situation, about Jackie. And now it goes from, oh, she just didn't want to know what you want to know as a woman, to, oh, now it's Jen's fault because Jen, you let me drink too much and I drink too much tequila and that's your fault. Like, why would you give me that much? And Melissa's like, see, this is what Teresa does. Like, you would really think you're losing your mind, but Teresa will really go around and tell everybody else that it's their fault that she did what she did. And that's why I can't stand her. And it's like, you would think that by Teresa going to jail for that year and some change, you would really think that she would come out and be a different person. No, she's still the same trash ass person. And she probably thinks she's even tougher because she's been to jail. Girl, you ain't about nothing as far as I'm concerned. Somebody needs to knock Teresa out one good time. Just one good time, put her on her ass. And I feel like we wouldn't have none of this. And I wish it was Melissa, who I really feel like if Melissa was to really put Teresa on her ass or put her in her place, we really wouldn't have this issue. Or if her brother would fucking do it. Somebody needs to do it, okay? And so, so they're talking about that, and she's not taking responsibility for shit. And then Dolores says, oh, well, the way that we grew up, stop saying that. Y'all are 10 seasons in. We stop saying the way that y'all grew up. We get it. We get that y'all are Italian. We don't need to hear it no more. Well, the way we grew up, you don't talk about people's kids or anything like that. I would assume that also growing up, you don't talk about people's family, period. Period. Not just about people's kids. You don't talk about their family at all. And that's what she did. And in my opinion, I really do like Dolores, but I don't know if it's because Dolores and Teresa are so close and they've been close for so long. But Dolores is stay making up excuses for Teresa. She always makes up excuses for the shit that Teresa does. And sometimes it's like, it's too much for me. Sometimes it's too much. And I feel like, Dolores, do you be making up excuses because you don't want to be on the bad side of Teresa? I don't fucking know. It's very annoying. So then we go over to Jackie, and Jackie's chilling with her kids. And, she's just pretty much talking about how her husband is still pissed off about the whole situation and how she don't think that it's fair, pretty much, that Teresa's the one who ran her mouth and spread this rumor. But now my household is all tensioned up, and then I couldn't fucking go on vacation. And so she pretty much gets to spread a lie and then go on vacation and chill with my friends. Like, how is that fair? And I can understand that. She said, I hope, like, they're at least defending me. And Margaret and Melissa were definitely defending you, and they had your back for sure. So then all the girls are getting ready to go out to eat, and Melissa, Margaret, and I don't know who this other woman was, but some woman that was with Margaret, they're all outside talking. And the woman that was there with Margaret, she said what I said last week, which is, you can't sit up. It's one thing to be like, oh, well, wouldn't you want to know as a woman? But you didn't tell her. Thank you. That's what I said. You did not tell her. You told everybody the fuck else in that party, but you did not go to her specifically and say, hey, I want to come to you and tell you that this is what I heard. That's not what it is that you did. So I don't understand why she keeps doing it. And then Melissa brings up a good point. She was like, when it comes to Teresa, you can't use logic. Like, I was really dealing with her from a logic standpoint, and you can't do that because Teresa doesn't run off of logic. Teresa runs off of straight emotion and what she thinks she's heard. Not what she actually heard, not what actually makes sense. She just goes off of pure emotion. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And she don't like to take responsibility for a motherfucking thing. So then they all get ready and they go out or whatever. Melissa and Jen, I think y'all look the nicest. Y'all look really, really good. So then when they're all sitting at the table and they still talking about the whole Jackie situation, and then they flash back because Teresa was like, oh, well, I did talk to Gia, and they flash back to earlier, like when Teresa was getting ready and she's telling Gia on the phone, well, oh my gosh, guess what? She said that you were in the bathroom doing coke. And Gia, okay, although she gets on my nerves, like the smart young woman she is, says, well, I mean, if you said something fucked up about her, why wouldn't she say something fucked up about you? Like, you're the one who pretty much started it, so you really need to go and apologize. Thank you, Gia. Thank you. Because it really feels like the only person that Teresa will listen to a little bit is Gia. And that's why, like Melissa said, I like when at least Gia can tell her the truth. Like, Gia wasn't even fucking offended by it because we all get the situation. Nobody but you is fucking offended because, again, you are going off of pure emotion. You're not going off of fucking logic. That's what the issue is. And so if you fucked up, then say sorry. And it's just that fucking simple. And then she talks about how I think she said Joe sent, and when I mean Joe, I meant her ex husband Joe has like a sex line or a toy line, sex toy line or something like that, and sent her one or whatever, and how she be using it. Didn't want to hear about that. And then Jennifer pretty much apologizes to Melissa for her acting like an asshole last season. I think Melissa came into this season realizing that she really was an asshole last season for absolutely no reason. So I feel like this season she's coming a little bit more correct because she was not likable at all last season. But so far this season, I'm here for Jen. I'm here for Jennifer. I'm here for her. So that was pretty much it. This entire episode, it wasn't much. It was just pretty much Teresa as normal, not taking accountability for shit, pointing the finger at everybody. Even though her damn daughter told her she wasn't offended, she's still gonna find a reason to point a finger instead of it's everybody else's fault but hers. That's where we're at with it. I'm done. Bye bye.